Yoga has got its own psychology. Can we contribute it? Now it is maybe at infancy stage, but can we contribute a little bit so that maybe after 20 years or 50 years, well, it is a full-fledged science. We have to, because it is need of the hour. Thereby, we have wonderful cooperation by modern psychology too, that we will see. Now here one more thing. At the end, I would give just 2-3 minute session to get across idea, that is practical session, that how we can here and now help ourselves in coming out of all kinds of problems, at least to some extent. Because whatever we will discuss, we try to translate into some kind of therapeutic tool. Let us see how we. Delimitation, of course, only psychological perspective has been dealt. Modern psychological concept of mind. This is definition. This is some of cognitive abilities that enable consciousness, perception, memory, thinking, imagination, judgment. It may also be defined as the conscious and unconscious mental activity of a person. This is a global definition by psychology people. Two main theories of mind. Computational theory. The nervous system is considered with all that information processing and all that changes taking place at the neuronal level and all that. So this is computational. And the dual processing, here they have included associative emotional experiences and also justification or interpretation or thinking or problem solving, decision making, all such kind of thing. So now let us see what it is. Now we have again Cartesian and Raelian debate, because these are two great psychologists who spoke about mind. Cartesian theory says that volitional act of body are the cause of volitional act of mind, mind-body relationship. But then the Riley has taken opposite view. You cannot compare mind and body. It's in his own way. It's a very healthy debate. You can just go through any book or internet, you will find. This mind-body dualism of Descartes has been summarily rejected by Ryle, who thought that there may not be necessarily any reasoning complex intellectual operations involved behind skillful act. Because many times you see that people are doing skillful act, but then they otherwise are not intelligent. It's very, because that is something, their predisposition, they have something, their inherent quality inside. So that is, now Riley further asserts that the working of the mind may be better conceptualized as the action of the body, which might pertain to propensities and dispositions. So not necessarily thinking and problem solving and whatnot. Manas concept of yoga fits well with Raelian concept of mind. Sankalpakatvam manaso lakshanam. Manas concept. Sankalpakatvam. But what it makes sometimes or many times irrelevant. What kind of dreams you have? You have dreams which are irrelevant. You are riding on bicycle now immediately you are jumping into plane and then plane is just rolling inside water, something bizarre. Because it only creates sankalpakatvam manaso lakshanam. Manute neneti manaha. So, and then now we come to the next. Let us look at the psychological definition of mind. Now again, we have already seen this. Chitta can be equated with psychological concept of mind. If Cartesian concept of mind is accepted, yet remember, Chitta is much more than mind. If we see the psychological definition of mind, so it is much more than that. And what it is, let us see further. Modern psychology, calming down mind, it leads to self-adjustment, social adjustment, leading to positive lifestyle. Very good. Now yoga, calming down mind, mind plus, we call Chitta. Mind plus is Chitta. Mind cannot be equated only with Chitta. This is mind plus, let us put this term. Transcending Chitta through yoga psychology. And then leading to yogic lifestyle. Now, facts about Chitta Nadi Ubhaito Vahini Vahati Kalyanaya cha Vahati Papaya cha. Chitta is either Samahit, it is calm and quiet, or it is integrated, or it is Vithit, disintegrated, or it is disturbed. The native nature of Chitta is Samadhyah Chittasya Svabhava. Actually, it is said that native nature, we are divine by nature. So, our Svabhava is to move towards Samadhi. So, Chitta has, because Chitta always has CIT, that is Chit, consciousness, and TA, that is Prakriti, but the first is CIT, that is consciousness. Abhyas leads to psycho-spiritual, physiological, comprehensive awareness. Remember, it is comprehensive awareness, not any other awareness. So, correct yoga practices, experiential one, like the one we see that the method of Omkar, for example, says that three things should be included: Hriday Vichinnam Omkaram, Ghanta Nadam, Visvarnavat. Heart region should get vibration, and it should be Ghanta Nadam, bell of the church, big bell, tan, taper off. And then inside the stem of the lotus flower, you have tenderness. That tenderness should be felt toward the end of Ma. No, these things are replete. We find them many in our scriptures. The idea is to cull them out. Vairagya creates background preparation for comprehensive freedom, contributing to comprehensive awareness. So they are now neutral state of attention. It contributes to neutral state of attention indicated by abstract awareness, Amurta Bhava. Whenever you go to temple and you feel that, yes, I feel something good, but what it is, you cannot define. It has many stories like that. So that is very vital. We cannot define, but we have to continue with that. Now, Abhyas leads to psycho-spiritual, physiological comprehension that we have seen, neutral state of attention. Now, Chitta is not mind, but mind well. Chitta is mind plus. Chitta leads to Samadhi, as there is consciousness first. CIT is consciousness. Mind leads us to disturbed state, as there is matter first. In Manas. Why? Like this. The plus is spiritual input of Chitta. So, Chitta minus TA, and that is Prakriti, it is Samadhi state. Now, Chitta minus CIT, it is disturbed state. So, disturbed state of mind will not lead us anywhere, and maybe it is intellectual exercise is possible, but it will not tranquilize our mind. So, this is Kathopanishad. This is something wrong because it could not come here because of the font. So, in Kathopanishad, the thought, we have Ratha, Atmanam Rathinam Vidhyam. So, yes, Rathmevacha. That is, we have 5 Indriyas, which are like 5 horses. And then they are tied to mind. And mind is held by Buddhi. And Buddhi takes orders from Atma, that is Atman. That is the warrior. Etymologically, Chitta has been constituted of Chit, that is the pure consciousness, Atman, and Prakriti, nature, matter. Therefore, Chitta is very, very bridge between material world and inherent. On one hand, this is Prakriti, the other hand, this is pure consciousness, so this is the bridge. And therefore, we can translate whatever is in the whole world, we can give it to the Mahapurusha or Parampurusha, and what Parampurusha says, we can. So that's what the metaphysics is. However, in Vedantic view, Manas is often regarded as mind, while Chitta is considered as more of a memory, say, reservoir. So, transcendence of Chitta Vrittis through yoga sadhana leads to achieving yoga discriminative power known as Viveka Khyati. Transcending Chitta Vrittis. See, remember, it is transcending. It is not avarodh, nor it is virodh, it is nirodh. That means transcending. So, the nidra is not that you are just controlling it and then, no, you are channelizing it. So, there are many such things, and Tiwariji often speaks about this in a very succinct way. Generally, Chitta is the field of mental aberrations, vritti and kleshas that need to be calmed down through buddhi. Buddhi is very important. So, in all scriptures, you find that, oh God, just tranquilize my buddhi, just stabilize my buddhi. Never they say that mind should be stabilized. Because when buddhi is strong, then it can stabilize mind. Then it is chitta prasadanam. Thus coming the chitta through a stable buddhi and then the calm manas may lead you to the state of enduring well-being. So manas is something, even Bhagavad Gita also, dhyato vishayan punsa sanghasteshu bhajayate, sangha sanjayate kama, kamat krodha vijayate, krodhat bhavate samoha, samohat smriti vibhrama, smriti bhanshat buddhinasha, buddhinashat pranashati. That means just attending anything, dhyato vishayan punsa. That means not necessarily I am thinking about it. Dhyana word is different and then chintan is different. Little shade is there. Bodhe is looking at me. It's little different. He knows better. So that is dhyato. That means just attending would make us. Therefore, this is a simply madhyam, the medium. So this is a limitation, manas. But then chitta has got everything. So you know that whatever you have said, this Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Chitta is considered subtler than Prana, operative in the sense and motor organs. Yet, in deeper level of Prana, well, Prana is very important, but then at the deeper level, you can channelize it directly. But in the beginning, you have to make use of your mind. And yogis can immediately channelize their Prana. But then it needs a lot of practice, and it is possible. That zero state is, or that transcendental state is not possible, it is something we cannot accept. And either of these us. It is possible. So Yoga Vasisht says, the discipline that calms down mind is yoga. That is, mano prashamano upaya yogo ityabhidhyate. So once calmed down, the manas becomes an effective instrument at the hands of buddhi and atman. So important is buddhi. So what we gain out of it, Sattva-guna would endow us with. Then if we get total security within, immediately, we feel that we are secure. Maybe the reason may not be there. And absolute joy or maybe chit, you create in yourself inquisitive power. And then we have absolute joy. And then we have comprehensive freedom. You feel freedom for no reason. And joy for no reason. And you are not mentally deranged. And tenacity to help others. It happens. You overflow and you try to help others. You are happy there. As per Kathopanishad, one can expand one's level of awareness by realizing Brahman. So it is Kathopanishad and then you know it. You can go through this. If manas is sattvic, now it conceives virtuous thoughts and conceptions. If the intellect is sattvic, it gives rise to pious behavior. So also if ahankar is sattvic, it gives rise to constructive and socially welfare-oriented endeavors. Same way, manas can be sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Same way, intellect can be sattvic, tamasic, rajasic. And also ahankar. So this I have not mentioned, but all these three things, because they are prakriti, therefore the components of prakriti. However, we have to transcend to realize Atman. Even Sattva-guna has to be transcended. Otherwise, I live in my feeling that I am a great, I am a nice person or something. So I am good, but then I am stopped there. So I have to transcend even that being good. It means I continue to be good, but then this kind of aura I should not carry with me. It's again a kind of load. Maybe it's good load, but load is load. So therefore I cannot go ahead. Now stages of awareness. And when you are non-reactive yet comprehensive in your awareness, just like a child, you are just looking, walking, but then no judgment. Child, he's happy. But we no sooner be something, oh, he's not a rascal, he's coming here. He's nice. Oh, he's not. What a people here. Always judgment. So, no. So, this habit is formed. So, we inch towards transcendence. But before that, we have klesha tanukarana. We have methods available. Like Kriya Yoga, wonderful method of Kevaladham. It's matchless. Wonderful results are there. And then we have Samadhi Bhav also because of Kriya Yoga. Then Saptadha Pranta Bhumi. So even the Purusha has got 7 stages. So I can speak if somebody asks questions, because I am running short of time. Stimulating potentials for vibhutis. I'll speak about it if time permits afterwards. Now, what we need? We need abhyas and we need vairagya. So first is comprehensive awareness. If you are aware enough about yourself, and that's what psychology helps us, through and through, what you are, where you stand, come on, see. Unless we know that, we cannot go ahead in yoga. Therefore, contribution psychology is very important here. Self-perception, person perception, all these concepts are very much there. And there are very, very many tests, give you aptitude test, this test, that test, wonderful. And then you can do justice to your value system. And always you have good values within you. And that you discover. When I say values, wonderful values, good values, values of yoga, they comes to the fore. In the beginning, all values will come. Even doing justice to your own value of rascality also would help. But then slowly afterwards, you come to terms with good values, yogic values. Then you feel continual growth. If you are not doing the justice to your own continual growth, howsoever you take all these sessions of meditation and something, nothing would happen, because you are not doing justice to your own profession. Somewhere in the mind it is playing that, oh, I am not doing anything, this. First do your own duty. That's what yoga says. And then creativity is there. Continual growth is important for us. And then we have creativity. Then we have self-confidence. And then we have self-dependence. It's the most important thing. Yoga, all these things yoga would give us. Only psychology is providing the language. Now see how important it is. Psychology is providing language. Is it not important? Most important. And then we have this freedom. And this freedom has to be experienced here and now. And how to experience, let us see afterwards. Now, cleansing of sanskar. Kleshas are not always bad, as Dr. Rao has said yesterday, is good. Kleshas, if you don't have any kind of environment, you go to shell. But it doesn't happen. Kleshas are never tending to zero. Environment is never tending to zero. Chittavritti never tending to zero. But sometimes suppose you make environment zero. That is, you just deprive a person of all the stimuli. There are examples in psychology that they have done this, and people went neurotic, you know this. So we need environment. And therefore, if more kleshas are there, you express, and it also has got value. Even rascal person has got value, because he is not doing harm to others if he expresses his or rascality. But if you stop that rascality, maybe he is more dangerous. So, and now here kleshas, if environment is fertile if kleshas are very many and the environment is fertile, that means people around you are having all this, and then also they are having their acquired characteristics from society, then chittavrittis are there. Then chittavrittis, if they are small in number, you can do adjust with them. Otherwise, sarupyam, itaratra, you get identified with them. And you lose your own identity. You are waylaid by them. And then there is a problem. So first stage of the psychic stage comes, and then it is the second stage, psychosomatic, if you can't do anything. So it is the first thing. Whenever you find a person is changing his behavior somehow, the boy or girl or something, or all of a sudden you sense some behavior is change is there. Okay, immediately put him on asana and pranayama. Even that is enough. You don't need any deeper kind of meditative kind of things also. No, immediately. So even you find yourself also in that, oh, nowadays I don't feel good. Immediately. And then we come forward. If you can't do anything, then it is psychosomatic problem. Otherwise, nature is very, very kind. Nature would not give you immediately hypertension and all that. If you don't do anything with it, then you have somatic problems. And then you have then organic stages. So everywhere, now in psychosomatic, only relief is possible. In stray cases, you get complete relief, but it is not the rule. And then we have somatic stage. In somatic stage, of course, 20% relief from yoga, but not the cure. And then organic stage, 5%. And so why then wait? So nip the flower, that is in the bud, problem in the bud, that is. And so this is going on. And if you can, this is mathematical equation, then kleshas, if you can minimize through Kriya Yoga, and then you see the chittavritti would be less. You can manage. Then environment you can do. We cannot do much with environment. We cannot change. We can't tell other people to change. But we can change our own self. So Kriya Yoga, Klesha Tanukarnartha, Samadhi Bhavanarthascha Kriya Yoga. So it is possible. And now Yoga Cybernetics to solve problems. I think Yoga Cybernetics. We have one very good book, Psycho Cybernetics, 2000, Maxwell Maltz. So there he did not mention anything of yoga. But then he has employed psychological methods to solve your problems here and now very effectively. The idea came to me, why not yoga can do that? Your day-to-day problems here and now. And then it will pave way towards transcendence, towards further yoga. So what we have to do is these three things. Do not act until you feel so. If you don't feel like getting from your bed up, getting up from your bed, don't do that. What? वो तो हमारा कभी भी मन नहीं करता है फिर उठने का, तो फिर दूसरे दिन तो छुट्टी हो जाएगी. No. Just have that inside some kind of motivation immediately. And then you feel like doing something. So tune yourself into having such kind of feeling. So that bhav, and then this is the first principle of Yoga Cybernetics. It is something, Yoga Cybernetics solve your existential problems and enter the state of absolute joy. Maybe to some extent, I don't say that everyone would be yogi all of a sudden, but little bit joy, like conditionless joy, it's possible. And for that, these are the principles. Shankaracharya have also given many such methods, like yoga se prathamam dwaram vanga nirodha parigraha, nirasha cha niriha cha nitya ekanta shilta. Wonderful. There are so many other methods also. And then we have to actually experience the state of abhyas and vairagya. Actually. That means abhyas, feeling oriented, that is experiential oriented, and vairagya. We actually feel it, don't only speak about it. Feel the effect of it. Vairagya means detachment, not that you would just leave everything and go to Himalayas. It's not possible. And you should not do that. Detachment, sense of detachment. And there are so many things you know well. Just wait, feel and wait. Wait, something would happen. And then feel. And when you feel, again wait. Again something would happen. And continue. And continue. And there are effects. If you look for the effects, meditation becomes very easy. And then, or any such kind of thing, evidence, you will evidence absolute joy, at least to some extent. And then wait. And divine wish. I was expecting Dr. Carlson to speak about it. Divine wish in Aurobindo is the foremost concept. Divine wish. And you are ready for it. Now if you feel that divine is the something and is telling me something to do and I am doing like that, not possible. Just prepare yourself for the divine wish. And for that you need to have all the yoga practices and then you can do so. That is wonderful concept because all worries and all go. But it is, remember, it is brave man's dream to have divine wish, not the helpless person. Divine wish is a very great concept. I think we hope sometime Dr. Carlson would speak even in this session, and that would be a wonderful concept, and people, all of our gathering would gain something about it, from it. So here it is, thank you, and with gratitude. And thank you very much. I think I am within time.
You have heard during the seminar that in Indian thought, mind is the problem. Other way around, I would say, if mind becomes your friend, it can take you wherever you want to go. Now here, I will keep myself within the framework of Patanjali. You have heard about the mind, you have heard about the chitta, you have heard about many things. Unless you understand this properly and how to train this mind properly with yourself, not by others, then only you will be able to find something important. Here you see the color, the red color, the black color, the white color. It represents the whole Prakriti. Ajam, Ekam, Lohit, Shukal, Krishnam. Because this Chit is a product of Prakriti, wherein the Shukal, the white, stands for the Sattu Guna,